Hi, and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to work on training off the road or out of the gym or out of whatever your exercise fitness goal is and on the mat. So this is the off day, 20-minute restore, recover, but still strengthen the core. So the core is a muscle group that we can work every day. So we're going to work the core, but we're also going to stretch and strengthen the connectors to the core as well to give the body a sense of actually relief. So in some ways, the stronger our core is, the more our extremities have a little more relief and ease from the rigors of whatever the sport or the activity is that we're going to be doing. So I'm excited for you to join me. Today you'll need, if you happen to have, kind of a 9-inch, 10-inch ball. If you have something a little smaller, that's fine. You'll notice mine is a little squishy. If you don't have a ball, you can grab a rolled up blanket or a beach towel. You do want a little bit of girth and density because we're going to be stretching and arcing over it and using it as a prop. And then if you happen to have, I use the medium resistance. This is a TheraBand, but any type of resistance band is great. Medium is ideal for resistance. We're going to be moving through the ankles and through the legs a little bit. So let's start right away, putting the ball at our back, placing the ball right at about the heart rate monitor spot. And so my activity of choice currently is running. And in running, my back becomes really, really stiff. And it's not just my low back, but my upper back as well. So I'm going to first sit my bottom onto the mat, lie back with the ball right at my sports bra heart rate monitor spot. And then as I inhale, I'm going to allow my mid and upper back to arch over the ball. It should feel really good, very opening for the front body. If it doesn't feel that way or it hurts your shoulders or your neck, maybe do a smaller or lower surface. Exhale and curl forward. Inhale, going back. Exhale, stretching forward. Making sure to take care of our bodies off of our equipment, out of our running shoes, out of our cycling shoes, out of the repetitive stress of the sport that we love or the activity we love, whether it's, sewing or knitting. I mean, it really runs the gamut. Our body takes repetitive stress loads. So we are unloading the body. One more here. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, great. So then we're going to pop up onto all fours. So just a simple warm up. And we're going to talk a little bit about the core specifically. So the core is the abdominal muscle group, the deep spinal group, and the pelvic floor muscle groups that work together to create a stability of the pelvis and the spine. So the core is not your six-pack abdomen. The six-pack is actually a superficial muscle structure group. In other words, it's a mover, right? Same with your superficial back muscles, they're movers. What we're looking to strengthen are your stabilizers, right? In our sport, we're moving all the time, giving a lot of time and energy to those mover muscles. So here, we're actually going to be highlighting our stabilizers, which help to kind of pull ourselves literally back into our center. So that when we approach our sport again or our life activity again, we're coming from our center and engaging those external muscles on top of that rather than having the external muscles do all the work. Okay, so we are going to inhale here, very simple. Okay, as you inhale, I want you to let your abdomen relax and let it hang. And then as you exhale, I want you to pull your abdomen in. So I'm using abdomen as a general term for the front of the whole kind of pubic bone, belly, navel center, and rib cage area, right? So all the soft tissue there where your organs live. So inhale, let it go. As you exhale, pull it in. And don't round your bones. Keep those bones nice and still. Inhale. So I call this letting your kittens hang out. So if you were a pregnant cat, this is a very old Pilates cue. It's not mine, but I use it all the time. As you exhale, You're going to pull your kittens into the front of your spinal column, the front of your frame, into the pelvic bowl. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. 3 more. Inhale. So you should start to feel on the inhale real expansion in your abdomen, and an exhale, a real tightness from your pubic bone, belly button, and rib center. 2 more. Inhale. Let your kittens hang. Exhale, pull those kittens in. 1 more. Inhale, let the kittens hang. Exhale, pull those kittens in. Awesome. Can you keep those kittens pulled in? Press the tops of your feet down like where the laces of your shoes would be, and curl your tail. So notice I didn't yet drop my head a lot. I'm really emphasizing my tailbone, my low back, all the way to about my heart rate monitor spot, my bra strap. I'm not going to go up into my shoulder blades quite yet. So I'm going to lengthen my tail, but keep those kittens pulled in. So that's the hard part. Keep pulling in through the deep abdomen. Exhale and curl. So we're really isolating from the ribs and below. Inhale. Exhale. Curl the tail. Scoop those kittens in, and now curl your cat tail through your legs, pushing down into the tops of your feet. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Curl the tail, hollow and scoop the abdomen, and come from the inside out. So remember, you're working closest to the spine here, and then come back to center. Perfect. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to work the deeper core still. So this is some of the harder core work that you can't see, but you can feel in your body. You know, core is a really interesting thing because the core isn't something we see in terms of when somebody engages their core, right? But you can see it in action. Like think about a dancer or a springboard diver or a runner or a super basketball player or football player, and they're springing and jumping and backflipping. You know, those types of activities, gymnasts, those types of activities are where you see a core. Like it's very evident that there's no way somebody is doing that just from their external muscles. There's this sensation of kind of this one long line that's bending and stretching and moving in all these ways. That is a visual cue or a visual representation of the core, right? But how do you get there? So it's not just from the external muscles. What you're going to do is you're going to sit on your mat, or if you need to sit on a stool, you're welcome to do that. First thing you're going to do is you're going to visualize the bottom of your pelvis. Okay, so the bottom of your pelvis has your sits bones in the back and the pubic bones in the front, and your tailbone pointed down towards the floor, and it typically is curled in and under a little bit for most folks. So on your inhalation, we have the cats, right? We have our little kittens in here. On the inhalation, you're going to relax your kittens a little bit. And then as you exhale, I want you to put your attention all the way down in your pelvic bowl. Okay, so your pelvic bowl is way low, down at the pubic bone. Inhaling again, breathing in nice and full. As you exhale, I want you to close the right and left half pubic bone into each other. So what you want to feel is like as if you had to go to the bathroom and you were going to hold it, right? Hold the stream. Or you can think literally about pulling the right half pubic bone and left half pubic bone to each other so they're squeezing together. And that starts to engage or stimulate the deepest core. We're not working in the buttocks. We're not working at our sits bone. So if you feel your butt muscles kind of squeezing together, you don't want to do that. You really want it to be in the front. And that isolation is challenging. But what that isolation in the front does is it engages the deep front core muscles, not only of the pelvis, but all the way into the deep abdominals called the transverse abdominis. Okay, so then you're going to inhale, relax. So this is what I call closing elevator doors. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze those elevator doors to each other. So I've got my right elevator door and my left elevator door closing, and then I'm pulling my elevator doors up, 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 up. And as I lift my elevator up, I can feel the connection of my pubic bone, my deep abdominals, and by virtue of doing this, it turns on my back muscles. So all three deep muscle groups are working. That's called a co-contraction. Keep the connection. We're going to breathe in here. Exhale, keep closing elevator doors, keep lifting the pelvic elevator up. Very good, and then bring that back down and open out. So if you need something to give you a tactile sense of, am I doing it? I don't even know if I can feel it or not. You're going to literally sit on top of either a pair of socks, or you can take your stretch band and sit on top of it right at your pubic bone. I know this is not something you see regularly. So a little awkward. It's our first date perhaps. If this is your first time watching my video, I'm sure you're wondering, what am I doing? But what you're really doing is you're working your core at its deepest level, not from the outer to the inner, but from the inner to the outer. So here you are, you're right on top of your bundle. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, can you close the two halves of the pelvis into the bundle, not at the buttock, so you want it in the front, right? And you're squeezing the two halves together. I'm squeezing my elevator doors closed around my bundle. Then I'm going to inhale, exhale, and lift my pelvic floor muscles up off the pelvic basin, maybe even off the bundle. And I can feel those deep abdominals working. Inhaling there, exhale, and bring that back down and open up the pelvis. So let those muscles relax. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, close the right half and left half pelvic floor muscles. Keep those closed and then lift up the pelvis off the pelvic basin, off the bones that make up the bottom of that pelvis. Muscles live right there. It's like a sling, and you're gonna lift up that sling or that diaphragm. It goes up, 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 up. Inhale and exhale, bring it back down again. Open out. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. I guarantee you, the more you practice this, the more automatic it will become. Right now it's step by step, yeah? So close the pelvic floor and deep abdominals. Inhale, exhale, keep those elevator doors closed and pull up the pelvic elevator. Feel the depth of contact, right? And your bones didn't move, right? Did you notice that? That you can feel your muscles working, but your bones are staying still? Those are those deep isolators that live inside your body, all connecting your pelvis and your spine and the front of your spine and the back of your spine to create stability in that pelvis. Really, really powerful. Okay, so my challenge to you is, we've got the pelvic elevator closed. We've lifted up the pelvic elevator. Pulling in your kittens. That's a lot of work right there. Hold on to that as we go back to the ball. Okay, so you're gonna go back to your ball. Did you keep it on? It's tricky. This is one of those exercises that I could practice probably all the time, and I've been doing this for over 20 years because those core muscles, they fatigue, right? Okay, so you're closing your pelvic elevator doors, you're pulling up your pelvic elevator, you've pulled in your kittens. All right, here we go. So you're going to squeeze your thighs together. We'll level it up in a moment, but right now I want you to inhale as you go back, extending your spine, feeling the mid upper back get a beautiful stretch. And then as you exhale, close the pelvic elevator doors, pull up the pelvic elevator, pull in those kittens, and then curl forward. Exhale, inhale, going back. Exhale, close, lift, engage, kittens in. 2 more, inhale. And exhale, close pelvic elevator, lift up your pelvic floor, curl forward. Beautiful, last one. Don't forget those kittens, everything stays pulled in. Inhale. Exhale, close the pelvic elevator, pull up the pelvic elevator, pull in your kittens and curl. Okay, so now you're gonna bring your right and left leg up to tabletop. On the inhalation, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna go back with your legs up. You wanna really practice not letting go of that core connection. As you exhale, you just amplify the core connection. Closing pelvic floor, pulling up pelvic elevator, curl those kittens into your body. Inhale, going backwards. Exhale, close. Pull in, lift up, 2. Let's do 8 more. Inhale. Exhale, close the elevator, lift it, pull in those kittens, 3. So as I'm doing this, what I'm moving is my rib cage. What I'm not moving are my hips, my pelvis, my low back. That is staying stable. That's the whole purpose of closing the elevator, lifting the elevator doors, and pulling in those kittens, is to stabilize those bones. 4 more. 4. I inhale on my way back, and I exhale on the way forward. 2 more. Can you feel it? It's a little different than just a regular crunch. Pelvic floor, lift those deep abs up and scoop those kittens in. 1 more, inhale, exhale, close the elevator doors, pull up the pelvic elevator, pull in those kittens. Good job, and come all the way up. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to shift gears. Come onto your stomach. So in this position, my hands are going to be directly under my shoulders. Inhale to prepare. As I exhale, I'm going to press and gently press up. This isn't an arm exercise. It's my pelvic floor muscles closing, lifting up my pelvic elevator, pulling in my kittens even before I leave the mat. And then I exhale and intensify that contraction a little bit internally. In other words, I turn it on a little bit stronger as I come up and then coming down. Like I said, for me, for running, over time, my back muscles become very tired, my mid and upper back muscles. So here I'm letting my upper back muscles kind of relax a little bit, lifting my deep abdominals, feeling my connection all the way to those kittens, and coming down. 1 more time. Inhale, exhale, pressing, squeezing the pelvic floor muscles in and lifting up, pulling in those kittens. Relax your shoulders and coming down. All right, so now no assistance with your hands. We're going to float the legs and the upper body. Inhale, exhale, draw shoulders and shoulder blades down. Make sure you're pressing the pubic bone down into the mat. Close the pelvic elevator doors, lift up the pelvic elevator, pull in those kittens, and then float your forehead, shoulders, collarbones, and thighs, knees, shins, and feet off the mat. Hands are also pointing back to your toes, fingers reaching to your toes, and then come back down. Inhale. Exhale, melt shoulders and shoulder blades down. Pull up through the pelvic elevator, deep abdominals working. Good. Think about those kittens pulling in. So it's kind of paradoxical. Why would I work my back muscles if my back feels tired? Well, what happens over time, especially in like a repetitive movement, sitting in front of your computer, right? Driving your car. What else? Running, like I said, even golf or anything. Our body becomes so accustomed that we don't kind of really squeeze the muscles and replenish the blood supply to the areas because of our repetitive movement. So we're always doing just the same thing over and over and over again. What the body needs is fresh fluids, fresh stimulus into the area to literally freshen it up again. So by doing these type of exercises, it refreshes the fluids into those muscles and into the joints. 1 more. Coming up. Keep the pubic bone down. Can you lift your pelvic floor a little bit more? Can you pull in your kittens? Good job. And come all the way down. And press up. And replenishing the blood supply and the nutrients to the area is really, really valuable anytime, anywhere for sure, but especially when we are in training for something or we have a repetitive stress that we're experiencing. So you want to go the other way, you want to challenge yourself to do other movement patterns, right? So here I'm just rocking forward and back on all fours, but I'm closing my pelvic elevator doors, pulling up my pelvic elevator and lifting my kittens. 4 more. 3 more. This is just easing the hip and the thigh and the shoulder and rib connection even onto my feet. It feels really good. It's very, very simple. Last one. Good. Okay, so let's just do a couple of circles like that, hip circles. Really beneficial to create room inside the hips. Remember, this class isn't intended to be a super power Pilates kind of video. 15, 20-minute video. It's more for restore and reconnect to your core, right? And then you have those muscles available for you whenever you're doing whatever activity you want to do. And then come back to center. Okay, now we're gonna lie back on our back. I do have other Pilates videos on my YouTube channel if you want a more traditional Pilates workout, but we're focusing on, again, the restoration. So you're gonna circle your ankles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring your leg down. Stretch the hamstring. 8 on each side. 2, 3. Okay, so as you're doing this, close your pelvic elevator. Pull up your pelvic elevator itself. Pull in your kittens. 5, 3 more. 6. So as you're lifting and lowering your leg, your low back isn't moving. 7, last one, and 8. I know that is easier said than done. If you are very tight in your hamstrings, you may keep a very small range of motion, but I'm going to encourage you to only lower and lift your leg as far as you can keep your pelvis and your low back neutral on the mat. You don't want to flatten your back and you don't want to increase the arch. You want to preserve the natural curve of your low back. Here we go. 4 circles. 4, 3, 2 ankle circles, right? 1, other way. 4, 3. Already get that elevator closed and fired up. 2 and 1. Here we go. Down and up. And 2, 3, 4, just 4 more. 5, the intention here is every time my leg comes up, it goes just a tiny bit higher, so I challenge its flexibility, which makes me have to work my core a little bit more. 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. Come all the way in. Very simple. Just 20 minutes to yourself, 20 minutes to restore your core, restore your posture, restore your spine. We're gonna just breathe here, 2 more breaths. Coming into child's pose. If child's pose isn't comfortable for you, go ahead and lie on your back, hug your knees to your chest. Last breath. Excellent. And we're done. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was valuable and helpful for you, helping to define and establish your core from the inside out. And I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you.